I don't know how to stop the countdown. There it goes. Okay. I don't like the countdown. It just makes me tense. Hi, Lori. I'm glad you're here. And I turned off the sound again, but the sound is going on YouTube, so I'm echoing. Hi, Anthony. Hi, Lori. Thank you for being here. Lori's first in the house. Yeah, I don't know how to do the countdown. I messed that up, so I don't know. I usually don't do it. I don't know. And I just decided to try it. And I don't know. I don't like it. I like being able to just start whenever. I might be late. I might be a minute early. I don't. You don't know. You don't ever know. How's everybody doing? I got my red on because I'm saying red. I got my Valentine's pillow. It's nice and cozy. Guess what we sang in church? Because he's doing it. They're doing a series on love. Hi, Judith. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, Arnie. Thank you for being here. I was out of sorts last week, you guys, and I was out of sorts. And then I was really annoyed by someone in the chat. Thank you, Anthony. Anthony got rid of him. He was making me really uncomfortable. And a lot of, I don't want to guilt trip anybody, but people weren't here and I was missing them. Not any guilt, but like Lori wasn't here, Ronald wasn't here, Loves wasn't here, and then somebody was here. And I was just like, why is this? I don't know. Yeah. So yeah, that's what happened last week. And yeah, I think I'm going to I still need to line up people to interview, but I'm only going to do interviews like every 3 weeks or so. Hey, Brenda. Hello, hello. Oh, and John's here. Oh, thank you guys for being here. I love you guys. Welcome in, welcome in. Yeah, John wasn't here either. Like, you guys all. Thankfully, Anthony was here. Thank you, Anthony. And you can see, like, I was like, I'm going to block you. But I'm like, wait, I do have moderators for that. I'm going to kick you out. And then it was funny that I saw, because my subs don't fluctuate a lot like some people's. And I saw that it went from like 817 to 816. And I'm just like, bye, dude. You're not worth, my trouble. Hey, Dirk. Hey, hello, hello, hello. Welcome in. Welcome in. So, all this stuff is off the cuff. I was going to try and sing you a song. Okay. So the R.E.D poems, my title poem came from a Chris Tomlin. I'm going to find it. Chris Tomlin song called At the Cross, but also, because I'm always like combining things together in my poems, but also oddly enough, the Red song by Taylor Swift. So those were inspirations for the title poem from Red. Let me find those lyrics. At the cross lyrics. I'm going to sing some of this just off the cuff, so just forgive me. There's a place where mercy reigns and never dies. There's a place where streams of grace flow deep and wide, where all the love I've ever found comes like a flood, comes flowing down. At the cross, I surrender my life. I'm in awe of you. I'm in awe of you. Where your love ran red and my sin washed white, I owe all to you. I owe all to you, Jesus. That's just off the cuff with no practice. I hope you're all having a wonderful evening too. Thank you for being here, Lori. Yeah, so I'm going to start out with my Red, the title poem from Red. Let me find it. I put them in a smaller document. So I counted, there's 92 poems in the 7-Story Tree. I actually sold a couple books at church yesterday, which was really cool. This is my book that's out, but this is from 2015, you guys. This is old. And I put a link below. I'm putting a link below now for my PayPal, and you can donate any amount and send me your address, preferably more. If you're out of the country, you got to send me a lot because it's a lot to send it. So yeah, for a donation though of any amount, especially if you're in the United States, it's not a lot to send, and then send me your address and I will send you this. But tonight I'm trying to stick to the new poems in Red and maybe some ones that you haven't even heard yet. So I'm going to do the Red poem. Okay. And I'm in the process of memorizing it. It's called Call Me Red. And people didn't call me Red that often. It was just like an occasional thing. It's a thing that all redheads really get called, even male, female, whatever. But I sort of went with it. I used to hate it when people called me something like that, Carrot Top, or, I used to hate it. But I just sort of went with it with my writing. And when I took the name Redheaded Riding Hood, which was right before I did the 7-Story Tree book, and then when I was doing the second book, it just ended up Red. That's just what kept coming up. And so, and the Taylor Swift, like I said, the Taylor Swift song and the Chris Tomlin song inspired this and a situation. I'm going to say the poem and then I'll explain more about the poem after I say the poem. It's called Call Me Red. We're always in it. I see it. I face it. I put it on. Scarlet or vermilion or bluish red crimson. Old ladies with hats are winsome. Valentine's Christmas cars, leaves of fall, team colors. It symbolizes blood and courage. Come now, let us reason together, says the Lord. Though your sins are like scarlet, they shall be as white as snow. Though they are red like crimson, they shall be as wool. Esau was red, and so was his stew. God didn't choose him, but he chose you. The sea was red, the Israelites went through. I said I didn't love you, but I lied. I thought you knew. I couldn't have put up with all that crap we went through without his love, which ran red. Your cold-hearted rejection cut like a knife. My blood ran red. So I wanted to hurt you too. Why don't we remember the good times? You always focus on the bad. Never speak life to me. So sad. Left me starving for attention and affection. Does anyone think I'm good or fair? I won't live in regret. We were all meant to be. 5 beautiful children. Don't you see? The thought of losing you could leave me so brutally blue. But no, just as Taylor said, loving you was riotously red. Yep. So that poem came out of a divorce group I was in on Facebook, where there were very few people that have been married 30 years. And these young women were saying like, oh yeah, I burned the wedding album. I got rid of all the photographs. I got, rid of this. I got rid of that and blah, blah, blah. And got rid of my wedding dress. I did give my wedding dress to Goodwill. But, I was just like, I'm not canceling like that whole life because it wasn't all bad. I have 5 beautiful children. Sometimes we're good. And I definitely learned how to get along with difficult people. I was married to one. Ronald's here. Yay. I was just saying about people I missed last week. And I missed you last week. And John, you had an emergency. Oh, okay. Well, I hope everything's okay now. You had to evacuate? Oh, because of an issue with the furnace. And Loves is here. Yay, everybody. All my favorite people are here. Thank you for being here, you guys. I really appreciate you. Like I said, I had it was funny because I was talking about boundaries, and then I sort of had a boundary issue, and so like, because afterwards I was thinking, I was like, why did that sort of trigger me? Like, and I think it was because somebody in the chat said he was going to marry me one day. I was like, what? You don't even know me. And then today I was remembering that there's a poem in, which I'm not reading because I'm not doing this book today. I'm doing the red book. But there's a poem in here that's about my boy problems. But I had a boy that was harassing me just about like every day when I was in the 12th grade. And he was an underclassman too. My locker was near his. And so every day he'd like harass me or say something, inappropriate to me. But one day, this was the nicest thing he ever said. One day he got up on a bench and proposed to me. And I was like, well, that's nice. But still, like, he didn't even know me, and I'm just like, could you just leave me alone? And so, yeah. And so I was thinking like that was part of the reason why that triggered me. And then I was just like, oh, I want to block him, but I feel mean. So Anthony did it for me. Thanks again, Anthony. I'm thanking Anthony profusely. And so, yeah. And so, but it was like kind of funny because I was like, oh yeah, that was like a boundary issue. And I was talking about boundaries. So it was funny, like a couple of years ago when I first did, this was before the recent bully. I was doing a live on bullies, and this bully showed up. It was like a troll on steroids. This was a person that has it's hard to explain, but if you can go back and see my live on what do you do about bullies, and it's from, I think it's from 2021. Yeah, I think so. And a bully came in and he threatened Kenneth too. He emailed me during the live and he threatened Kenneth, and he said he knew where Kenneth lived. It was like wild, you guys. Like, I always tell stories, it's like, I can't make these things up. I have stories, true stories. I can't even make these things up, and I was just like, this is insane, that I'm trying to do a live on bullies here. And, in comes this bully, and yeah, it was insane. Hello, I don't know how to say that. MK, is that Hawaiian? Mikiliaki. Hello, welcome in. I don't want to pronounce that wrong, which I probably will. So I have like a red things here. This is my puzzle box, which I figured out, but now I don't know that I can do. German, okay. Who remembers these things? These are it. I got these in Mexico. My red light up ball lights up. You can't see it. It doesn't bounce very well. Let's see what else. I got a yo-yo. My yo-yo. Yeah, click-clacks. This is a rock that a friend, an Airbnb guest, gave me. Isn't it pretty? St. Pete's rocks. The rocks that they leave places for you to find, and then you can go online and register. So let me get to another. I want to say my here's one about that was inspired. They always start with something and then they evolve. These poems, and I pull from a lot of things. So this poem is called Heartbreak Hotel, and I was out in California, and I always wanted to visit the Winchester Mystery House. This was way back, I think in 2014 that I went there. I went to visit my aunt. She lives in San Jose, and the Winchester Mystery House is in San Jose. And we would always, because I lived in Southern California, I was born in like Burbank, and I'm from the Valley, a Valley girl, like gag me with a spoon. And we would go up to the San Francisco Bay Area to visit my grandparents often, and aunts and uncles and stuff. And so I would always see these signs, but we never went. We didn't go to too many touristy things. We would go see some things in San Francisco sometimes, but not. I've never been out to also what is it? Alcatraz. We would sometimes get the t-shirt, it's my red shirt. I got my red on. I put my red. I found that's not too dark. I found this lipstick. So anyways, I would always see the sign for the Winchester Mystery House. but we never went there, and I wanted to go there. So in 2014, when I was visiting my aunt, I went there, and that inspired this poem. That's like some of these poems were written a while ago because, see, since I finished The 7-Story Tree in 2015, I've been writing this, and there's probably more than 92 poems. I counted the poems in The 7-Story Tree. There's 92. There's probably over 100 poems in R.E.D already, and I need to get it published. So this is called The Heartbreak Hotel, and it's about just my husband built a house, and I sort of felt like he was that woman in from the Winchester Mystery House. Like it's not done yet, you guys. He started it in 1999. It's not done yet. And I'm like, he's like that woman that was building on, she thought she would die if she stopped building her house. And she, like, there's stairs to nowhere, and there's, and so that's what inspired this. And that I felt kind of trapped in my husband's house. And when I moved into our smaller house, I would say I got out of the big house, and then I was like, oh yeah, that is what they call prison, the big house. Okay, this is called Heartbreak Hotel. Leave it to me to see an analogy. I've been through the never finished house, like Cinderella trapped, a prisoner of her own device. Rapunzel in her tower of fear. I stepped through the door to nowhere, now leaving Crazy Town, California, the land of fruits and nuts. The Heartbreak Hotel. They say you can check out any time you'd like, but you can never leave. So the devil wanted me to think. But my king held the key to my escape. If he sets you free, you are free indeed. I no longer follow, just lead. No matter how your heart is grieving, if you keep on believing, the dream that you wish will come true. And with all the nightmares, you will be through. You guys, I have a funny story too. And so the thing about when I said California, so Claire Bear, when she was little, when she was about 4, my parents lived in California. And my ex's parents live in Florida. They're still living. Mine have gone on to be with the Lord. And thank you, Mom and Dad. But so Claire Bear would get confused, and when they'd say, "Where are your grandparents?" she'd say, "California." That's where our dysfunctional families were. California. And so, but also, the Winchester Mystery House inspired that too. But so sometimes at my Airbnb, I would watch movies with my guests. And so there's a movie, and it's pretty good too. I don't usually like scary movies. I don't like really graphic scary movies are not for me. No Chainsaw Massacre, no Freddy, no, none of that. But this is like not a really, really bad one, but it was still scary. So we were watching the Winchester Mystery House with, it was with Gladys too, and another Airbnb guest. So we were watching it, and it's scary. It's kind of creepy. And I go into the restroom, and I'm getting ready for bed. And I kid you not, there was something, and there was a tree by that window at that time. I don't know, but something scratched on my. I like about jumped out of my skin after watching that movie. I was like, it was funny. I was like, what was that? It was creepy. It was creepy. Yeah, and you'll recognize from Cinderella, trapped working for her evil stepmother in that poem, and also from, I like the series Once Upon a Time. I just recently rewatched it. I like Once Upon a Time. It's silly, but Rapunzel is in her tower of fear. And so that's where that line came from. So I always like grab things from and put them together in my poem. and I have a poem about being a mockingbird because I'll take a line, but just not so much that I get in trouble. Just a little bit, and I'll switch it around. In the Losing You Could Leave Me So Blue, that was from another person's poem. And then Loving You Is Riotously Red, that's from Loving You Is Red is from Taylor Swift, but I put Riotously Red. Okay. Here's one about people who get jealous. If you're in a relationship and they're jealous, that really is a red flag. It has happened in churches, and it's happened in my I feel like a family member that I'm no longer in contact with. That's what happened with her. But anyways, this is called I'm a Little Teapot. And it's taken from that saying, like the pot calling the kettle black. I don't know. It's weird. But anyways, let me just say it for you and you can see what you think. It's called I'm a Little Teapot. The pot and the kettle. They were the best of friends until that day. The kettle called the pot black. The pot said, "Oh, I'm so sorry about that. I'll do better. I know I can." So she cooked better and grew hotter while the kettle sat and watched. The kettle turned green. She talked behind the pot's back, saying how she was so horrible and black. It was time for the pot to give her the sack. But just like the ball and chain, she always took her back. How can the kettle learn about her lack if the pot always enables her like that? It's kind of funny. Yeah, that was about a friendship too, a friendship, you know. So yeah, I took from the pot and the kettle, and there's Diana. I was about to say, and I'm hoping like Diana's gonna illustrate some of my poems. Probably not all of them, because like I said, there's like 100. There's at least 92. Like I counted them the other day in 7-Story Trees, 92. So, and I'm debating. I don't think I will. I think I will put all new poems in, because I was considering putting some of my favorite ones from the 7-Story Tree into Red, but I think I'm going to make Red all new poems. So what I'm drinking is this chai, and it's very good, but it's a little sweet. It's a little sweet. Let's see. Oh no, 21 grams of carbohydrates. Is that right? Oh no, that's terrible. No wonder it's so good. The pot and the kettle. Yeah, so you won't. I don't know. You won't probably illustrate all of them. I don't know. Or I don't know if I will put all of them in Red. Some of them might not make the cut. Right now, there's probably that many. And I even like took some of them out. I put it in a smaller document so I don't have to sort of search for the ones that I want to read. Here's one that's called My Vision, and I sort of lost my vision. So in 2019, I got so discouraged and I was very depressed. And like the whole book of poetry is dedicated to those who've struggled with depression and those who have dealt with suicide in their lives or somebody else's lives, if someone they knew or someone, a family member. So it's all yeah, they don't all need to be right. So yeah, that's who it's dedicated to. So, but in 2019, I was very depressed and, wanted to die. And so it was rough, but God had given me the plan already to sell my house because my house was going to be paid off, and I got the little house in the divorce. And so my plan was to sell the house, downsize, sell the house, just save enough stuff that would fit in my RV, and then pay off my debt, pay off my car, and just take off in my RV. I ended up buying the RV up in the St. Louis area, though, not in Georgia. But I started downsizing in 2019. And I decided not to die. I'm like, no, I can't do that. Even though my relationships weren't good with all my children, I couldn't do that to them, and I couldn't afford to go anywhere anymore. I told the story in the video about my dad. I told the story of driving across country in 2018. Well, like already 2018, like my credit cards were maxed out, and then I was using the credit cards, and before my divorce, my ex was paying on them every month. And then it was only fair that those credit cards I was using, I got those balances in my divorce. So not only did I made out good in a lot of ways in my divorce. I made out really good. I got alimony and stuff. The shady lawyer I first hired sort of deceived me and made me think that there was alimony in the paperwork, and there wasn't. And I was like, oh my goodness. And I had decided to fire her because she was so condescending and rude to me. And then I found out that too. And I was like, whoa. I'm glad I fired her. I found a new lawyer. I was very picky when I picked out my new lawyer. And she got me alimony. So I made out really well in a lot of ways in the divorce. But I did get those balances, which was fair because of the cards I was using. And then I had to pay them off. And I paid them off when I sold my house. And so it was a great plan. But yeah. And so this poem is called The Vision. The Vision. It's in the morning sun rising. It's in the green grass thriving. It's in the mockingbird's song. Yes, the days are long and lonely, but hope is rising. Sunday is coming. God is so loving. He's patient while I have my angry fit. God, I yell, no one gives a crap about me. He says to me, you can be pitiful, Susan, or powerful. It's your choice. That's the same thing. That's what God said to Joyce Meyer. I have a wise mentor. Her name is Joyce Meyer. She teaches me to be careful what I do and think and say. I must read the Bible every day. There's life in the word. Satan's only here to kill, steal, and destroy. Yeah, he wants to find you a boy toy. He'll ruin your life, fill it with strife. He's destroyed so many. He's an expert at deceit, temptation, and defamation. Don't be ignorant of his devices, or he will keep you in a crisis. But the just shall live by faith. Trust God, he'll make you better. Listen to Satan, you'll be bitter. He wants you to be a quitter. But God says, press on, it won't be long. For the vision is yet for an appointed time. but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, and it will not tarry. Yep. And ironically, yeah. I walked away from God and he found me a boy toy. But it was really stupid. But anyways, I don't want to talk about that. I'm just thankful for God's grace. And it taught me a lesson the hard way. It taught me a lesson the hard way. I had to learn the hard way, I guess. But anyways, yeah. So I'm so thankful you all are here. Thank you for being here. Appreciate y'all. And let's see. But yeah, I was super when I divorced y'all, I was just so super naive, and it was like I was in this bubble, because I got married at 19, he was like my first serious boyfriend. So, and when, I'd only been with him my whole marriage, the whole 30 years. And, I didn't have time. I had 5 kids. I didn't have time to even cheat on him. I had my oldest, she just turned 36, you guys. I had my oldest at 20. I got pregnant with her right when I got married. It was right really before I got married, because we were living with my in-laws before I got married, and that was stressful. They're a little dysfunctional, like my family too. So we lived together before we got married, but we got married in a Presbyterian church in Boca Raton. We got married in Boca Raton. It's called Spanish River Presbyterian. I was talking to my friend Judy at church yesterday, and she had heard of the church. She heard of that church. It's a big, huge church. It's the daughter church of D. James Kennedy's church in Fort Lauderdale. The late, great D. James Kennedy. If anybody heard of him. Thanks, John. I put some poems, like when I started out and said, like, it was like a few weeks, it was like a month ago or something like that, when I said, like, I want to do more poems and quit. No, I wasn't going to quit doing the food, because I don't know, everybody likes the food. You guys, I just decided, like, to do this. I was making chicken salad, and then I was like, it's green, because I put jalapeno peppers in it. It's green. And I'm like, oh, it's St. Patrick's Day, so that's appropriate. Oh, I'll make a video. Oh, it's got 1.5K views. So still my other videos do well. And I'm going to keep trying, though. I'm just going to keep trying with the poetry. And I'm doing more lately. I'm doing more of the poetry on my live streams, but I'm going to do more on. But I downloaded some videos and made them private, and I haven't made them, because my poems are very, like, One of my book reviews for A Seven-Story Tree is from my sister-in-law, Joyce, who passed away in 2021 from breast cancer. And she said she doesn't hold anything back, which I don't. And then it's like, sometimes it was like, oh, why did I say that? And so I have 2 poems. You guys pray for me if I should be brave and share these about Muhammad. And yeah, there's 2 poems on there that are private that I haven't shared yet. And I don't know. When I'm ready, I will share them. But I thought about it again last week. Like I said, like it was like a month ago, a Sunday, and I like to make videos on Sunday because I'm already made up. I don't make myself up every day. So I did all these videos and then downloaded some of them and then made some of them private. And yeah, and I still haven't shared them. They're still private. Some of them are still private. Because I'm like, I don't know that I want to say that. I don't know that I'm ready to tell you that. We read The Weekends. I was not there. Huh. Bowie showed up. Huh. I'm not sure what you mean. A bully showed up on my bully live. Is that what you're talking about? What I was talking about earlier? This is my mug from Raccoon Mountain. I went there for my birthday. That was like my last adventure in my RV. I went to Raccoon Mountain and then I went to Graceland. Yep. Hi, Eunice. Yes, that's right. In the right time, I'll share. When I feel it's the right time. It's the nighttime. Yeah. Thank you for being here. Okay. Let me find another poem for you. Oh, I have one that is kind of about this one is a combination of things too, but it was inspired by an Ernest Hemingway quote about there's nothing to writing. All you do is sit at a typewriter and bleed. So that's what this one's called, Bleed. The trick is to have the emotions, but not let them have you. There's nothing new and nothing to writing, Hemingway said. Sit at your keyboard and bleed. He is the song I bleed, Kearney sang. Your blood ran red. Kearney said, your blood ran red. That makes it rhyme. And I do not think I'm that clever, not ever. It seems the words are dropped to me in my head at night in my bed. Your blood ran red. It flows through me like a bird in flame, flowing through my veins, catching fire. You consume me from my mind, from your mind to mine. We have the mind of Christ. Ink to pen, pen to page. I don't need to rage, just bleed. The pen is mightier than the sword. Feast on his word. My pen is a sword. His word won't return void, so run. I read this one before on a live, but I don't this is my heart on my sleeve. This is about my youngest, and like I said, I wasn't seeing them so often, and I had, before I started doing Airbnb, I had fixed my room for my youngest to come stay with me once in a while. And she did one time, she did. So this dream I had in the poem came true. But this is called Leaving Neverland. And I have a quote from Peter Pan in the beginning. The children waited for her cry of joy, but it did not come. She saw them, but then she saw them in their beds so often in her dreams that she thought that this was the dream still. She sat down in a chair by the fire where in the old days she had nursed them. J.M. Barrie, Peter Pan. And so I was missing, especially my youngest. And then I had this dream that I woke up and she was in her bed, in the room I fixed for her. And no, I dreamed she was in her brother's room, because I fixed, I had 3 bedrooms, and before I started doing Airbnb, I had fixed up the bedrooms, and then I was just like, oh, well, they're hardly coming over here. My son did come visit from college, and I had a Georgia Bulldogs room, which was my popular room in Red's Airbnb, the Red room. It was a red room, and it had a Georgia Bulldogs blanket on the bed. And I got a little bulldog too, like a little Georgia Bulldog to put in there. And it was a fun room. And then Lydia's room was a blue room. And I put elephants in that room. That was my elephant room. But I dreamed she was in not the room I fixed for her, because she's a little bit rebellious like me. She was in her brother's room. But I dreamed I woke up and she was sleeping in that room. And then this poem came about. So it's called Leaving Neverland. I awoke to see her in her bed, like so often in my dreams. We read in bed not so long ago about the land of Narnia and the boy who lived, those demigods and unfortunate kids, their parents who died in a fire. Will my kids see me as a loser mom who lived? Will my kids always see me as a loser mom who lived? Can't even find a job. I'm nothing without Bob. What did I work all those years for? Why did he always want more? Why did I let them control and disrespect me? When will they ever come back from the land of the enemy? See who is truly the bad guy here. The mom who read and sang to us. Jesus loves you. You are my sunshine. Let me be your teddy bear. Put a chain around my neck. Lead me anywhere. And they did. They all did. I did what they wanted. He always said before, you have a job. So I cooked, I cleaned, I went to games, I took the lead. I'm taking a break now from serving you. It's my turn. For so long I tried to do just what they wanted me to. Time to grow up. People pleasing can't be done. They're never satisfied. Like Mick Jagger. But God's yoke is easy, his burden is light, his path is right, shining ever brighter unto the perfect day. He won't take my sunshine away like you did. Yeah. So when, gosh, I think Claire it was when the movie came out. I decided to read them when the first Chronicles of Narnia movie came out. That was, I think it was 2010 or something. Siri, when did the first Chronicles of movie Disney come out? Siri, when did the Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe come out? This is 2005. I don't think it was that early that way. No, that's a Royal Film Performance. I don't know, but I think it was around like. But anyways, I started reading them, the Chronicles of Narnia, and I would read to my youngest two every night. And sometimes Ian would come in and listen to. He would come in and listen, and we usually read. I had a chair in Claire's room, a nice, comfy rocking chair, and yeah, I got a text from. I was texting Claire today, and she sent me. Oh, my Claire Bear is expecting again, and she sent me her ultrasound photo. She thinks it's a boy, and I'm like, that could be right, because I knew she was a girl. I was pretty sure she was a girl, and my dad wrote poems about Claire. I had them come early. They came early in their RV because they tried to induce me because I had such big babies before Claire, but Claire wasn't as big as the rest of them, because Teddy was 10'9" and Ian was 10'1". Sarah was 9 pounds 12 ounces. So they were going to induce me, and I was like, do July 19th, because it was my mother-in-law's birthday, but she wouldn't come out. And so my parents were there early, and my dad wrote some poems and about it. And he said in the poem, her mother sure it's a girl. And it was a girl. Okay, what? May 16th. What's May 16th? Arnie, I missed what? Are you answering someone's question? I'm almost out of tea. I'm almost out of chai. So yeah, it was really a nice time of reading to them, and we read. The Boy Who Lived is Harry Potter. We read Harry Potter. We read about the demigods, Percy Jackson, and we read Aragon, and 2008. Okay, the first one. Yeah, that's when it was, and Claire loved it the most, and I think I read to her the longest, because Lydia is 4 years younger than Claire, and Lydia would fall asleep first, but would almost like Claire would get into it so she wouldn't go to sleep, get into the storyline. And we read so many things. We read what's that one that I was just watching on the TV? Artemis Fowl, Aragon with the Dragons, and Series of Unfortunate Events. That's what the one I was mentioning in the poem. Their parents died in a fire. Yeah, it was good times. So yeah, and so that's why it all ties together. I might have even read the Peter Pan book. I had a Peter Pan book that was mine when I was little. I think I left it in the storage with all the things I left for my kids. I left a lot of things in storage for my kids, and it was like books that my mom had given them, wood things my dad. I had a big box of wood things my dad made, and I want to show you guys something. I was gonna maybe make a little video about it, but I didn't put it in the video about my dad, and because I didn't think of it. Oh shit. I have a nice wood box that my dad made. My brother had it, and he let me have it, which I appreciate. At one time, so my dad made this, and at one time it had my mom's ashes in it, but then he put them in the garden. So I got some jewelry in it and stuff. But it's nice because all of those things mostly, except for the little wood thing with my name on it, I left in the storage for my oldest, and I don't know really where they are now. I think that they kept them. I'm not sure, but my youngest was telling me that my oldest mostly wanted the pictures, and I gave her all of the photo albums. Oh, I'm glad I inspired you. I'm sorry I missed it. Was it 2021 or? Yeah, I can't really believe it's been that long since I've been on YouTube. Oh, your cat. Okay. Please pray for my cat. We don't know what's wrong with her yet. We visited the vet today, but still waiting to see what happens with her overnight. Is she not eating? One of our cats had a tumor, and then I don't know if he maybe would have. We ended up deciding to have the tumor removed, but he didn't live very long. So I think he had cancer. We had so many. We ended up with so many cats. When we moved into the big house, we moved into the big house when my youngest was only 6 months old, and then my oldest had just become like a teenager. I think she was 13 or 14 when Lydia was born. Let me see something. Let's see. Yeah, she was turning 14, 13, about to turn 14. My oldest was 14 when my youngest was born. So, and then the house wasn't ready. I got pregnant and then hoped that he was going to finish the house so we could move in before the baby came, but then we weren't able to. She's eating. I haven't seen her for a week. She may have pees, but she keeps going to the litter box, but I never see her pee. You haven't seen her pee for a week. That sounds not good. What's your cat's name? Dear Lord, I lift up Diana's cat to you, Lord, and I pray that you would heal her and give the vet wisdom to figure out what's wrong. I pray in Jesus' name, amen. Cassie. Oh, that's a cute name. Yeah, so I ended up with 13 cats. We had 3. Gideon, Samson, and Jehoshaphat. Jehoshaphat was the one. Hello. Did you leave and come back? Because you were here earlier, weren't you? Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for being here. Okay, let me find some more poems to read. This one's called I Am Thankful, because I try to remain, a lot of these are about, they're about my life, I didn't even realize what my first book was about. It was my neighbor who said that it's your life in poems about my first book. And this one's called I Am Thankful. I am thankful. It didn't go the way I thought, but I'm thankful. I stayed, I prayed, I fought the fight. I worked, I loved, I shined his light. I cooked, I cleaned, it was a mess, as was I sometimes. I burned the food, it wasn't good. I got mad and said the wrong thing. I was quiet sometimes when I should have spoke up. More times I spoke up and said too much when I should have shut up. It didn't end the way I thought, but I'm still thankful. I'm sorry about all the times I let you down, or made you frown, or feel unloved. I'm glad for all the good times, as they were many. He forgives me, and I am thankful for his mercy. I'm sorry, getting emotional. Oh, and I shared this one before. This one is from Red Poems. And it's sort of ironic that I wrote this about my hero and mentioned a lot about Superman. I'm talking about Jesus, but I'm sort of talking about my hero. And so which we didn't know, but and I think I might have a picture here actually. No, I don't. I do have pictures here though. Let's see. I don't have that one. I could go get it. I might send this to my Claire Barrett. This was when we had 4 and they all were playing soccer. That's my oldest son and that's my oldest, and she's holding Claire, and this is Ian that lives near me now. And this used to be on my keys and it broke. And it got sort of beat up from the keys. So anyways, what I was going to say is my brother-in-law ended up getting cancer and they found it late. And but he looked like, remember the Dean Cain suit? Remember when Dean Cain was Superman? Well, my brother-in-law kind of looked like Dean Cain. And so they would call him that. And then for those of you that don't know, my last name is Story. That's why I like that the S's. I got this There's alliteration. Susan's story. That's a SS. So, and the Superman. So not only did he look like Dean Cain, he got this ring, the Superman ring, with an S on it for Superman, and his name was Dave, and they called him Super Dave. And what's funny is I wrote this. He was only 42, 43, and the cancer, and he passed away a couple days after I wrote this poem, which is ironically, but it's about my hero. But it also makes me think of Super Dave. I did write a poem about Super Dave, but I don't have that one with me, and I probably won't put that in red. I don't think so. But this is called My Hero. My hero, make a liar out of me. 2 steps forwards, 1 step back. The risk of reach. I am not afraid anymore. Oh, really? You sure about that? I'm free. What's that I see? More links in the chain binding me, but he keeps saving me. Just like I'm Mary Jane or Lois Lane. He's my hero. I'm saved, being saved, and will be saved continually till his face I see. How many times must I fall? But I know I'm going to rise again, singing farewell to old Prince Charming and hello, Superman. Here's a short one. I could put this in a short. Perseverance. So pray, plan, work, wait, dream. Plan, pray, wait, work, play, sleep. Someday you will reap. Okay. Oh, here's a funny one. I am not as much. I have changed since just so many things happened to me, you guys. So I was really more of an evangelist. I was annoying evangelist. So, and some of these I wrote before I sort of backslid a little, and so I was kind of obnoxious really about sharing my faith sometimes, but anyways, but that's where some of these poems are coming from because I wrote them before that that dark night of the soul, and when I walked away from God for 2 years and just was being, it's like I have these boundaries up, and I had, less boundaries, of course, walking away from God, and less rules. And the boundaries are to protect you. And so I was just like putting myself out there, and, and it was stupid. Honestly, it was stupid. And I thought about this, and I think about this. I can be very hard on myself. That this was ridiculous for me to get. And Joyce Meyer says, don't get mad at God. He's the only one who can help you. Don't get mad at God. He's the only one that can help you. And I said, and I realized, it was ironic and, laughable when I realized I was like, okay, so I was mad at God because some of my kids weren't talking to me. So, God, I'm going to stop talking to you. That makes sense, right? That doesn't make any sense. Make no sense. You make no sense. My mother-in-law used to say that. Look at this picture. Remember I said I was very young? That's me with my oldest. 1987. Oh, and I like this one. I think I'm going to send this one to Claire Bear. That's my mom and dad with Claire Bear. That's 1995, 96, 96, 97, 1997, though. We didn't go out there in 96. So, yeah, she's one there. Isn't she cute? This is my mom's bougainvillea, and I kept trying to grow this in Georgia. My mom said, you can't grow that in Georgia. And I couldn't. I killed a couple of them, but it is really pretty. That's in front of their house in Aurora Grande. Oh, okay. Drive safe. Drive safe, Lori. Thank you for praying, Ronald. Oh, you had your oldest in 88. I'm writing red all the time and hitting the T and putting Ted. That's my oldest son, but he goes by Teddy. Because all the coolest people with that name go by Teddy, like Teddy Roosevelt. There's more red things. I bought these a while, right before I decided to, when my A1C was up to 6.6, I found out when I was in Illinois, and I had bought these at so that was like 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago. But I bought these because they're red in the title. Red Hots. Let me find you another poem. Oh, I'm at an hour, so I could stop. Let me find you one. Oh, I know. Oh, one reminded me to fast. There's a lot of poems in here. Here's one. I did a video, I think I took it down, about mutual ghosting. Ghost me, ghost you. Where once was a girl, woman, wife, mom, is now just a ghost. Boo, did I scare you? It's my nice way of saying F you. I'm taking back my personal power, looking for a reason to try, a purpose to live or to die. You were born for the dance and the fight, but don't forget to dance. I hope you do, because I love you. Won't you come home? I'm still here, haunting this house, waiting. And this is called Reconstruct. So the ex-evangelical movement that I considered myself a part of, like an idiot, for a couple of years. But I am not as pushy about, I just tell people what I believe. I don't, I'm not a Bible thumper anymore. But it was called deconstruction. And I feel like that part of it was almost, it was good to figure out why I believe what I believe, and do I really believe this, and what are my beliefs, and do I really believe them, and why do I believe them? And I really feel like now my faith is stronger. I know what I believe and why I believe, and I really know that that's not the way I want to live, and it's a stupid way to live. God's parameters and God's rules are for your protection, because he loves you and he wants you to have a good life, and you know, and now I know that more than ever. I used to say that before to people, but now I know that more than ever. So this poem's called Reconstruct. Reconstruct. I'm in my cocoon, holding on to myself, like Lisa says. That's Lisa A. Romano. I'm sorry we got disconnected. The old Susan can't come to the phone right now. I'm transforming in the dark, by myself, alone. But not. Red's is closed. I need to chill for a minute, or a year or two. But don't forget, I love you. Yeah, my Airbnb was Red's Airbnb. It was on. I put that. I did. It wasn't at first on there, but I put it on there in 2018. I did Airbnb from 2017 till 2019, so about 2 years. Oh, it was bougainvillea. They're kind of a magenta. They're magenta pink. Bougainvillea. Yeah, I love those. And I had asked my mom, "Can you grow these in Georgia?" She's like, "No, you can't grow those in Georgia. Can't grow those in Georgia." So, oh, I said I was going to do a Q&A. Does anybody want to ask me anything? Yeah, see, and I always relate a lot, even to recent Taylor Swift songs. That's from Taylor Swift. Sorry, I can't come to the phone right now. And and she says that, Taylor's dead, because she's trying to be nice and polite, but that sometimes doesn't work with bullies. So, and it doesn't work when when you let people disrespect you. I've learned this the hard way too. They disrespect you when you let them. You know how they say you teach people how to treat you. Yeah, by what you allow you're teaching them how to treat you. And since I put up with the disrespect, it just made them disrespect me more, just because I wouldn't stand up for myself and say, hey, you can't. And that's was the fear. I've done a lot of lives on fear too, because I've struggled with that a lot. And I feel like it's like kind of related. Like they say too, anger, depression is anger turned inward. And I feel like the fear too is part of the depression also, but maybe not always, but for me, it definitely was. So let me close with my love poem, because that's one in red. That's one of my favorites that I probably will. I'm getting close to memorizing them, but I'm not totally there yet. I will read it off of my website, which is Redheaded. Why does this say that? Why is it saying it's not secure? That's really weird. That's really weird. Okay, let me read it out of my document. If I can find it. So does anybody have any questions for me? I found it. Have you ever done a poetry slam? No, that would be fun though. Well, I kind of did. Do a poetry slam. If you look back at my lives, I did a live with Donnie Wheeler with Joy Bless Life and Donnie Wheeler. And he called it that. I didn't call it. I wasn't like, he called it it was a poetry battle, and I think I won. He doesn't have any of his poems memorized, so I win right there. I got a lot of them from the 7-Story Tree. But it's funny that so like when I started writing poems, I started sharing them on my blog and things I wrote, and then I would share a poem at the end that went along with what I wrote. And yeah, the times are below. It's 6 p.m. It's Monday nights, 6 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Mountain, 8 p.m. Central, and 9 p.m. Eastern. Yes, all the above, Eunice Smith. So yeah, the poetry slam, not really, but if you look back at that live, that's Donnie called it a poetry because he's a poet too, but a poetry battle or something like that. And I think he was being competitive. I don't know, but yeah, I have to find. I'm scared. speaking of having fears, I'm scared. You know what though? It's reminding me too though. Like you guys, when I last time when I flew out to Philly, I'm thinking was talking to my daughter today, Diana, and I'm thinking of driving. I said, so then I won't have to rent a car. And so I'm thinking of heading out there on the 17th of May. And I'm thinking of driving right now. I'm not sure for sure yet, but then I won't have to rent a car because you said what you're a little bit ways away from Levittown. And so, and I think I want to go to New York City too and see Wicked on Broadway. And I need to ask my daughter about that. I still haven't asked her about that yet. But yeah, I still need to know what day is your opening day. So I think when I find that out, I'll find out. Hey, Lisa's here. Hey, Lisa. How is it? How you doing? Yeah, it is a long drive, but I kind of like driving. Lately, I've been listening to these books on tape. So I really like that. And I'm getting better. I'm trying to take healthier. I'm eating healthier. I still eat too much when I drive because I eat more when I drive than when I'm not driving. You know, that's the thing. And I gained a couple pounds in Texas, which I still haven't lost. And that's what's annoying me. I shouldn't be drinking this chai with sugar in it. My bad. But yeah, I'm excited about losing weight, and I'm hoping to lose more weight and even get my A1C down lower because it needs to be out. It's still in the pre-diabetic range, so it needs to be lower still. So we're working on that. I went back to kickboxing last week Kickboxing kicked my butt, but it was good. I think I'm going to go once a week, and it was a steak looping. No, it wasn't that. It was, I went off of, I let myself eat sugar when I'm driving, and that's what's bad. Oh, that's interesting. I went from scared to scarred. Scarred to sacred. Yes, I don't need to fear. We don't need to fear because God is with us. That's what Joyce Meyer always. That's what the Bible says. What Joyce Meyer always quotes. And to do it afraid. That was a good Joyce Meyer book I read. I actually read the book, the hard copy of the book. But steak is what I always. I try to do low carb, so steak is what in fact, I got one defrosting. I know what I wanted to ask you guys a question. I think I'm going to go live when I cook my son's dinner. I call my son and his friend my sons because it's his friend from grammar school. And so, I'm trying to save money, you guys, because I've been spending all this money. I said to my financial advisor, I was like, I can just see my dad up in heaven going, Ellen, she's spending all the money. Make her stop. And my mom's going, you go, girl. Spend that money. But so I'm trying to save money. So instead of taking my sons out to eat every month like I usually do, I'm going to cook them dinner here. And so I wanted to know if you guys would like me to do that live. I think I'll do that live. I'm going to start cooking early. I'm going to do shish kebab and grill it, with some vegetables and stuff, and make some rice. And then when they get here, I'll probably go off the live. So hopefully sometime this week, because my son texted me last night. Like I said before, it's always a good day when I talk to at least one of my kids. And so today I texted my daughter to see how she was feeling because she's expecting, and then she sent me the ultrasound picture. So I was like, today was a good day. And yesterday I was talking to my son. I was texting my son, and he loves chicken salad, so he's like, yeah, I'll come get some, or chicken cordon bleu too. He loves chicken. I used to cook for my sons. I used to go see my sons once a month when my biological sons were both at the University of Georgia, and I'd cook this food, and I'd usually freeze it. A lot of times it was during the summer. It was a short amount of time. Maybe it was a year. It was right before my younger son graduated. 2018. I think it was 2018. Oh no, I'm not going to ask them to be on it though. Live with me cooking them dinner. I'm going to start it before they get off work. They get off work and they work over here. So they live about half an hour from here. Really, they live more into the city more. I'm out in the outskirts, not country. So, yay for the pics. Yeah. So, the 4-letter word poem. I will close with this one, you guys. I will close for this one. It's called That 4-Letter Word. It's never in vain. It all matters, no matter how small an act. A kind word, a smile, a hug, a cup of cold water. I have it in a photograph, a letter, a scrap of paper, a meal, a memory, a bowl of chili, chicken salad, peach ice cream and red velvet cupcakes, chocolate and roses. It speaks your language. It's a gift, a movie, a lightsaber, a new hope. It's a verb, it's a noun, it's an adjective, it's profound. It's encouragement and motivation. It's harder than you thought, yet it makes everything easier. Like E.T., it phones home. It's more wonderful than you knew and worth everything you put in. It hangs on, it never quits, even if you let go of it. It can hurt sometimes. It can't stay mad. It works and tries. It bleeds and cries and doesn't lie. It apologizes, gives, and forgives. It's the only thing we take with us when we die. Yet it makes us feel alive. It always hopes, believes, trusts. It never fails. And even if you're away a while, it waits for you to come home. Okay. Thanks for being here, Ronald. Yes, the ultrasound. Oh, yes, I was so excited. I was so excited. She thinks it's a boy. And I'm like, you're probably right, because I knew you were a girl. So yeah. All righty, guys. Thanks so much. Thanks for being here. Ronald, Lisa, Diana, Lori, Brenda, all of the above, Eunice Smith, Arnie. We're praying for Diana's cat. Loves is here. The German name I can't pronounce. MK Ben. I can't. MK. Can I call you MK? John Stalker. I'm going back. Everybody, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Love you. Dirk was here earlier. Thank you, Dirk, if you're still here. Anthony, Judith. Thank you. Don't forget, pray for Red. Red will pray for you. Have a good night. I love you. Bye.